Cool. Okay, hi everyone. I want to thank you so much for joining me today for our Monday Healing Steps Facebook Live here in the Bridge to Healing community. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm Janine Naus, your grief and trauma relief specialist, and my mission is to support you in healing from the wounds of trauma and rediscovering the strength within yourself. Now, today we're diving into a topic that affects so many, navigating PTSD symptoms. If you've experienced flashbacks, vigilance, emotional numbness, or the fatigue of constantly being on guard, you know how exhausting it can be. But I want to remind you, healing is possible, and you don't have to do this alone. So when we think about PTSD, and their symptoms, whether it's the flashbacks, nightmares, emotional numbness, or hypervigilance, it's easy to feel like these reactions are coming from out of nowhere or that something is wrong with us. But I want to assure you, these symptoms are not signs of weakness or brokenness. They're your brain and body's way of trying to keep you safe, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. Now, when we experience trauma, our brain goes into a survival mode, and this is a natural protective response. In a dangerous situation, your brain focuses on keeping you alive, and it stores the memory of the event in a way that helps you recognize and respond to future threats. However, when the trauma isn't processed, those memories can stay stuck in your brain, making it difficult to distinguish between the past and the present. This is why you might experience flashbacks to feel like you're reliving the event, or why certain triggers like a sound, a smell, or a situation can cause intense reactions. Now, let's talk about hypervigilance. This is when your body is constantly on high alert, scanning your environment for danger. Hypervigilance can feel exhausting because it's like living with an always on alarm system. And while this response may have been helpful during the trauma, it's not serving you in your day to day life now. And this constant state of alertness takes a toll on your body and mind, making it difficult to relax or feel safe. So, nightmares are another common PTSD symptom. And these aren't just bad dreams, they're your brain's attempt to process the trauma while you sleep. But because the trauma hasn't been fully worked through, these dreams can feel intense and disruptive, leaving you exhausted and anxious. And then there's emotional numbness. Now, emotional numbness often develops as a way to protect yourself from overwhelming pain. It's as though your mind decides, if I don't feel anything, I won't get hurt. While this might seem like it's helping at first, over time, it can leave you feeling disconnected, not just from the pain, but from the joy, love, and connection you deserve. Now, here's where the workbook comes in. In section 1, Understanding PTSD and its impact of navigating life beyond PTSD, a practical guide to reclaiming safety and connection, I dive deeper into these symptoms to help you understand what's really happening in your body and your brain. And by understanding these responses, you can begin to see them not as weaknesses, but as signals from your body that need your attention and care. So, in this section of the workbook, you'll find a breakdown of the science behind PTSD symptoms to help you understand why your body reacts the way it does. You'll find reflective exercises to identify which symptoms you experience most often and how they impact your daily life. And then there's practical tools to help you start reframing these symptoms as signals to address rather than obstacles to fear. So, understanding is the first step toward reclaiming your power. And when you know why these symptoms happen, you can begin to break free from the cycle of fear and take steps toward healing and reconnection. So, let's keep moving further forward together here, one step at a time. Now, one of the most challenging aspects of living with PTSD is the emotional numbness that often follows trauma. It's as though a switch gets flipped and your mind decides that the best way to protect you is to turn down the volume on your emotions altogether. While this may feel like relief in the short term, over time it can lead to a sense of disconnection, not just from your emotions, but from the people and experiences that bring you meaning to your life. So let's explore why this happens. When we experience trauma, the brain's survival response is to shut down emotions to avoid overwhelming pain. And this can be incredibly useful during a traumatic event, but it doesn't just stop once the trauma is over. See, emotional numbness becomes a defense mechanism, and it's a way to avoid being hurt again. The problem is, by protecting you from pain, it also keeps you from fully experiencing joy, love, and connection. So, rebuilding emotional connection is an essential part of healing from PTSD. It's about gently reconnecting with your feelings, your relationships, and your sense of self. But let me emphasize this is a process. It's not about forcing yourself to feel everything all at once. Instead, it's about creating a safe space where emotions can begin to emerge naturally and gradually. So let me share an example. I once worked with a client, Mary, who described herself as feeling like a ghost in her own life. And she was there physically, but felt detached from the world around her. And she avoided close relationships because she was afraid of being overwhelmed by emotions she couldn't control. And together we worked on small steps to rebuild her emotional connection. It started with something as simple as naming her emotions, just identifying what she was feeling in a given moment without judgment. Over time, this practice allowed her to reconnect with her emotions in a way that felt safe and manageable. Now, how do we begin rebuilding emotional connection? The journey from numbness to engagement involves intentional, gentle steps that help you reconnect with yourself and others. So, here are a few strategies to help you get started. Start with self awareness. Emotional numbness often stems from avoiding feelings altogether. Begin by simply noticing your emotions and ask yourself throughout the day, what am I feeling right now? You don't have to act on the emotion, just acknowledge it. The second strategy is practice small acts of engagement. So if emotional numbness has caused you to withdraw from relationships, take small, intentional steps to reconnect. And this could mean sending a text to a friend, sharing a meal with a loved one, or simply sitting and listening to a piece of music that moves you. And the third strategy is to use gentle visualization. So picture a safe, peaceful space in your mind, a place where you feel completely secure. And imagine yourself slowly opening a window in this space, allowing emotions to enter one at a time, like a gentle breeze. And this visualization helps you create a safe framework for reconnecting with your feelings. Now, in section 4, rebuilding emotional connections of the workbook, Navigating Life Beyond PTSD, I guide you through a more in-depth exercises that will help you foster meaningful relationships and rebuild your sense of connection. The workbook provides reflective prompts to identify areas of disconnection and actionable steps to create safe and supportive bonds. Rebuilding emotional connection isn't just about fixing relationships, it's about creating a life you can actually fully engage in with the world around you. It's about allowing yourself to feel again, knowing that you are strong enough to handle those emotions. Now, have you ever felt that emotional numbness was holding you back from truly connecting with others or yourself? If so, I want you to know that you're not alone and there is hope. Together, we can work toward a place where you feel safe, connected, and fully engaged in the life you deserve. So let's take that next step together. Now, when PTSD symptoms take hold, whether it's a flashback, heightened anxiety, or a sudden sense of disconnection, it can feel as though you're losing control of your mind and body. And these moments are incredibly challenging, but there are ways to ground yourself. and regain a sense of stability and reclaim your power. And these grounding techniques they're really essential tools that help you bring you back to the present moment, reminding you that you are safe and in control. So today I want to share a unique grounding practice that isn't included in the workbook, and it's a technique that's called the anchoring object. And this strategy focuses on using a physical object as a tangible anchor to the present moment. So the first step in the anchoring the object technique is to choose an anchor. Select an object that feels comforting or meaningful to you. And this could be a smooth stone, a piece of jewelry, a keychain, or even a small piece of fabric. Ideally, it's something you can carry with you easily. And then the second step is to create a connection. Spend a few moments holding the object in your hand. Pay attention to its texture, weight, and temperature. Run your fingers over its surface. Notice the details. Does it feel smooth or rough? Is it cool or warm? Engaging your senses in this way helps you draw your focus away from overwhelming thoughts and back to the present moment. And the third step is to anchor an affirmation. And while holding your object, repeat a grounding affirmation to yourself, such as, I am here and I am safe. This moment is real and I am in control. I have the strength to face this. And then tie the affirmation to the object so that each time you hold it, the words come to mind automatically. Then in the fourth step, use it in real time. That's whenever you feel triggered or overwhelmed, reach for your anchor, focus on its physical presence in your hand, and repeat your affirmation. And allow the object to remind you of your strength and the safety of the present moment. And then the final step, the fifth step, is to reflect on its power. After using the anchoring object, take a moment to reflect. Did it help shift your focus? What sensations or feelings did it evoke? This reflection reinforces the positive connection to your anchor and it enhances its effectiveness over time. Now, this technique is simple yet powerful because it engages both your mind and body, and it provides a tangible reminder that you are grounded in the present, not lost in the trauma of the past. Now, if you found this grounding technique helpful, you'll love the additional strategies I provided in Section 2, Grounding Strategies for Navigating Triggers, that are in the workbook, Navigating Life Beyond PTSD. Now, the workbook dives into practical tools designed specifically for individuals dealing with PTSD symptoms, and it's offering step-by-step guidance to help you regain control and find balance. Now, healing is not about erasing the past, but about reclaiming your power in the present. See, grounding techniques like anchoring the object remind you that you are stronger than your trauma and that you have tools to create a sense of safety and stability no matter what challenges arise. Have you ever tried using an object or an affirmation to ground yourself during difficult moments? If so, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. And if not, I encourage you to try this technique and share how it felt for you. Now, together, let's take another step toward reclaiming your peace and power. I want to thank you for spending this time with me today. It takes courage to confront the challenges that PTSD presents. And I want you to know how proud I am for you for showing up. Now, healing isn't about perfection. It's about taking one step at a time. And every step you take moves you closer to reclaiming peace, safety, and the connection that you deserve. So, as we discussed today, PTSD symptoms can feel overwhelming, but you are not defined by them. Tools like grounding techniques, emotional reconnection, and practical strategies for challenging negative thoughts empower you to take control of your healing journey. I want to remind you that healing is not something you have to do alone. My free workbook, Navigating Life Beyond PTSD, a practical guide to reclaiming safety and connection, is filled with actionable tools and exercises designed to help you navigate the effects of trauma and rediscover your inner strength. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to download it today and begin exploring how these strategies can transform your daily life. Then take the next step. It's a personal, invitation because you've taken this powerful step in your healing journey. I'd like to invite you to a free 30-minute, no-fee session to find relief from PTSD symptoms. And then during this session, we'll work together to address one specific challenge you're facing, identify what's holding you back, and then create a personalized strategy to help you move forward. Now, this session is a safe space where we can explore what you need most right now and how we can work together in a creative and to help you create a life that feels balanced, empowered, and fulfilling. Now, if you're ready to take that next step, click the link below to schedule your session. And I'm going to go ahead and provide those links here momentarily. So remember, you're not alone. Healing is a journey, and it's okay to reach out for support along the way. Whether it's through the tools in the workbook, our time together in a one-on-one session, or the supportive environment of the Bridge to Healing community on Facebook, there are resources and people who care deeply about your well-being. You are stronger than you realize, and each step you take is a testament to your resilience. So let's walk this path together, one step at a time, and create a future filled with peace, safety, and connection. Take care, and I look forward to supporting you on your journey. Bye-bye.